You're welcome to AIT interview with Chief Edozie Ezogwa. Chief Edozie is one of the IPOB Ohaneze Ndibo and also is the President General of Eastern Union Congress. In this interview, he has proven to be an exception among the members of Ohaneze. I've always thought before now that everything that has to do with Ohaneze just has to do with Ohaneze Ndoshi, but this particular elder has actually proven himself. He has stood tall in this very interview and he made no mistake at all. He laid everything bare. His support and love for Eastern Security Network, ESN, created by Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, has no part 2. I like this very interview. Listen to him. He delved into what happened in Orlu and went as far as delving into some other things that surround Eastern Security Network and the failure of Eastern politicians and governors, leaders, so to say, to support the creation of Eastern Security Network since they failed to come up with its equivalent. Listen to the interview. To subscribe to please consider it necessary to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, and click the notification bell. May Elohim bless you for watching. Thank you greatly to all our subscribers and our intending subscribers.
IPOB Ohaneze Ndibo, and he is the President General Eastern Union Congress. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Chief Edozie. All right, many thanks for joining us, Chief Edozie. Let's look at the recent incident which happened in Orlu that made the headlines a couple of days ago. For you, what can we say caused the incident and who are those responsible for that?
Well, thank you so much for offering us this platform for the rest of Nigeria to know what is going on there. What happened was a very painful, very sorrowful state, very worrisome. I can look at it in the other way. There was a failure of leadership of those who are saddled with the responsibilities of providing security of lives and property. That was a total failure on the part of their own side. I must have to be very, very honest. I don't know that on this 21st century, human being who is so wicked, man humanity to man, for it to use such a brutal force against fellow human being. A lot of lives were lost, blood flows on the streets, in our markets, on the shops, littered everywhere. I don't know why. I was thinking that after the NSAS, some of all these atrocities must have been, government must have, because they promote and they promise that they will have an inward look and see how they can curtail some of the excesses of the security men. But it does appear that nothing was done on that directions. I'm afraid if it continues in this way, I don't know. I ask myself, why some people are so jittery, afraid of the Vigilante, ESN. Why? The Vigilante ESN was formed as a result, it was born out of frustration by those we look at, those we expect, those saddled with the responsibilities of providing the security to the life and properties to the people of the Southeast. And that's such, when such things happens, people will be compelled to adopt a self-help. And that is what you saw there. There's a lot of politics. Initially, when the issues of regional security system was hashed and mentioned, we were hoping that soon that there will be something very, very serious on the ground to protect the lives and properties for the people from the southeast. But all ended in politics.
So the clash was between members of the Vigilante and not militants with the...
No. There's no militancy on that.
So what provoked that? What provoked that?
That's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming. There's no militants on that. There's no terrorists. There's no insurrections. What you see is the people adopting a kind of a self-help to protect themselves. When you look at, based on who you are hearing from, but we can tell you authoritatively that there's a politics behind that. The ESN was born out of frustration. When you look at what is happening in Nigeria today, in Orlu, we have vigilantes. In Zamfara, we have vigilantes. In Katsina, we have. In Kaduna, we have. In the Niger, we have. As a result of what? Banditry, herdsmen, mere tiara onslaughts against Nigerians. And don't forget, you heard it, that mere tiara has been gazetted on International World Terrorist Index as the third and ranking worst terrorist squad.
Is it
but today,
or Fulani
herdsmen? No, not armed Fulani herdsmen. Okay, and you can testify what is happening in Nigeria today.
Chief, you say when a people resort to self-help in the face of attacks by setting up vigilante groups to protect themselves, is it advisable that they seek approval from the relevant authorities? Did that happen in the case of Orlu?
Well, we are talking about that you have no option. When you have a tendency, a threat that you can be wiped out any time, and when you have made every other agitations and approach to those who are saddled with responsibilities of providing security to you, and have failed to do so, you will sit down and watch and fold your arms.
And the political authorities are aware of this vigilante in the southeast?
Well, that is why I said there's a politics coming up. They are trying to use politics to destroy all those things. But now, let me come back and tell you the reasons why this thing happens. Some time ago, in the past, the former governor from Abia State, Dr. Kanu, donated some, plots to them, to the Fulani herdsmen there, around that Lopanta and Umusuch, Aziz in Abia State. They were given such a portion, but you can't pass through that place again now. They continue to encroach in other parts of lands there, and the issues of criminality is so reckless. Raping, complaints of raping, kidnapping, all these are it. And when there's a rumor again going on in Imo State around that, although that the present governor have now given them that forest, people now doesn't want it to happen again because of what they have seen in the Abia State own. That measure they can't tolerate that, and that is why the ESN just went and occupied the forest and decided to move in, just to avoid a situation of Abia State. And that's what compelled them to be there.
What I want us to establish, now, Chief, is that do you need security approval to set up vigilante?
Let me run so that you'll be able to take it off from there. Now, when this ESN land there, I'm proposed to guide the community. And meanwhile, since they have been there, there is no complaint from the community. They are not extorting people. They are not harassing people. There's no raping. Issues of raping. They don't complain of that such happen. and they were in a peaceful with the communities. Now, police decided to go in. Police decided to go in and confront them inside the bush. And that is where this trouble started. This didn't just start spontaneously just like that. It was a build-up for a few weeks or days. And there, during that period, I expected the government, there's government there, should have been able to move in and douse the tension. One, by trying to, come out that this place was not given to anybody, that the forest still remain part and parcel of the government property. And in doing so, you'll be dousing tension from the people. When the rumors of that happens, they are not doing that. They fail to work with the security outfit, the security, the police I'm talking about.
Chief Edozie, the setting up of a security outfit should have backing of state legislatures. Say, for example, looking at what has happened in the southwest, the Amotekun. When that outfit was to be set up, the various state legislatures, worked and put this security network in place. The question which my colleague has asked is, in as much as yes, there's a need for self-defense, has there been that framework, and who should be blamed for not having that framework?
I think I have made myself very clear there that we expect, as we are here now, we expect that we are protected by the security. And if eventually we discover that we are not protected and there is a threat to our lives, here, the first this is for you to
resort to self-help.
Self-help, to defend yourself.
Okay.
Now, in the past, when the issues of Amatekun in the southwest was, packaged and, implemented, then there was this, rumors